All right, we are now joined by Christopher Bell, driver of the number 20 DeWalt Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. We'll go ahead and start with questions. Let's go to Kelly.
Kelly, CrandallRacer.com. Ricky was just in here, Stenhouse was just in here, and he said something interesting. He said that he thinks everybody's going to be worn out after tomorrow because it's going to be more intense. And Ross Chastain kind of hit on that this morning, is because the difference here compared to maybe Daytona and Talladega is obviously you don't get that much leeway. You're constantly turning almost. So do you expect to be maybe a little bit more worn out here than you would be at a Daytona and Talladega, where you're running in drafts and you get a little bit of a break on the straightaways, the long straightaways?
Yeah, so Daytona, Talladega are two of the easiest tracks that we go to physically, just because you mentioned it's really big, everything happens slow, it's pretty low-key until the end of the race, where that practice session was 40 minutes of pure chaos. So I definitely agree with him. I found myself holding my breath several times. Yeah, it's a full-blown speedway race for sure. Really, I mean, the cars that I was around, it sure seemed like everybody felt the same. So, not grip limited, that's for sure.
Additional questions? We'll go to Bob.
So can you handle 200 minutes of pure chaos tomorrow?
Honestly, Bob, I'll be surprised if we make it that far in a pack. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, everyone else is, so I'm going to have to. But it's going to be unlike anything we've ever seen. I can promise you that.
All right, we'll go to the press box.
Hey, Christopher, Lee Spencer. Hope you're doing well. Wanted to ask you something off topic. Buddy Kofoid's supposed to make his debut at Bristol and the trucks, and I'm just kind of wondering if you could give us your background on Buddy and how you expect him to do.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Buddy is obviously a really deserving driver, so I'm super excited about his opportunity to break into NASCAR, and I'm expecting big things from him. Bristol Dirt is a unique race and a unique track, and I think he'll shine.
Additional questions from the press box?
No questions.
Okay, we'll go here in the middle, and then back to Bob.
Noah Lewis, TSJ Sports. Christopher, how do you anticipate pit stops will be this weekend? At Daytona and Talladega, we're used to just the lane to pull off in, but here it's a little different.
I'll tell you what, that was one thing that I was focused on in that practice session, was getting a run to pit road, and it is going to be insane. I mean, I tried to do it pretty much all practice, and I never felt comfortable doing it because I was always in the pack and guys around me. And, one thing that's different about Daytona and Talladega is you're braking on the straightaway, so you can pull off the racetrack and brake, where here you're not going to be able to pull off the racetrack and brake. You're going to have to brake on the track with a very narrow turn 3 and 4. So, you're going to be doing good if you get 3 wide, and then the inside row is going to try and be braking. And, the first green flag pit stop is going to be one to watch, that's for sure.
All right, we'll go to Bob.
Parker's Fox Sports. So in trying to avoid the chaos, is it the same? Do you do the same things that you would at Daytona, or are there do you have any other kind of tools in the toolbox?
Yeah, well, my Speedway record hasn't been the greatest, so I need to start asking other guys that question. But yeah, I didn't survive the 500 this year, and I want to survive this one. I need to survive this one. We've been off to a rocky start with the DeWalt group, so getting to the end is going to be first and foremost the most important thing, and I could see it being difficult for sure tomorrow.
All right, we'll go to Jim Utter.
Motorsport.com. Along those lines, has it been difficult to try to stay positive with the start of your season? Obviously, you've shown throughout many of the races that you guys have speed and can compete, but just have not got the finishes.
Yeah, honestly, it's been easy to stay positive up to this point just because there's been so many high points. Going from California, I felt like we had a strong showing, or not a strong showing, but I thought we had strong potential, and my team agreed with that. And then Vegas, we had a strong showing, but didn't get the finish that we wanted. So there's been a lot of high points. Just the the points position that we're in now and the finishing results haven't shown that. So it's been easy to stay positive, but it's definitely time to start getting some finishing results out of it.
Any final questions? All right, we'll go back to Dustin and wrap things up.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. What are the runs like in the pack, and is this going to be the same type of racing in the pack, or how does it change compared to Daytona and Talladega because you've got a more narrow lanes per se?
Yeah, so that's one thing that was extremely different from this 40-minute practice session at Atlanta to all of Daytona, and that's really the only thing that we can compare to with this car. At Daytona, it was very, very easy to lose the draft for some reason, and it seemed like the trailing guy would always get left behind, where here it was, and the runs at Daytona didn't feel really big. Like the draft runs felt, some of the slowest runs I've ever felt from the Trucks Xfinity into the Cup car, and then here today, they were huge. For whatever reason, the suck-up was really big. You had tremendous speed difference from getting a draft run to not having a draft run, and it was really easy to catch the pack. Like, you didn't get left behind if you're the last car. So I don't know why the cars and the drafting handled or reacted so much different here than it did at Daytona, but it was a big difference for sure.
All right, I lied. One more question from Jerry Jordan.
Jerry Jordan, Kicking the Tires.net. So with all of that said, at the end of the day, how many drivers are going to like what they have tomorrow, and how many drivers aren't going to like what we have tomorrow?
Yeah, that's a good question. The guys that like speedway racing are going to enjoy what we have, and the guys that dislike it are going to really dislike it. But it's intense. Like, that 40-minute practice session was super intense. I don't think. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think anybody expected the draft runs to be that big, the pack to be that tight. It was full-blown chaos, and we got 500 miles of it tomorrow.
All right, thanks for joining us, Christopher.